Hi there, and welcome to another video tutorial from Cornflower Iris. Today I'll be making this Starry Steampunk wooden box, or decorating a wooden box rather. This is going to be a gift box for a gift for a friend. It turned out to be cheaper than luxury gift wrapping, and was definitely more suitable for a man. It's sustainable and reusable, and will definitely be part of the gift. So to begin with, I'm simply sanding down the wood and making sure it feels nice and silky smooth everywhere. It's also a good idea to go over the edges and just bevel them slightly so there's no sharp areas, so it's going to be a really nice and useful box. To begin with, I'm applying a coat of gesso. You can take a look at my last video of a wooden box for an explanation of what gesso actually is, but here I was in a rush, so I simply applied one coat and dried it with a heat gun. Make sure to really work in on the areas on the edges of the box and on the inside as well where I didn't actually sand it. This helps to seal the box so that the paint that we put on top won't soak in quite as much, and it also provides a nice undercoat and seal. Don't forget to do the bottom of the box and really work into the areas around the feet, because remember it is a sealant. Once this is done, I provided a light sanding and really went over those edges and corners. This makes sure that we have a really silky finish, and when I apply the paint I do get a really lovely finished off look. So I'm applying Crafter's Choice paint in Prussian Blue. This is a really lovely midnight dark blue. In the end, this design kind of reminded me of a cross between kind of ancient Egyptian artwork and boxes, particularly the stone lapis lazuli, which is a dark blue with veins of kind of gold running through it. It also looks like a starry night sky with a nice blue glow to it. I'm applying quite a thick coat, going around and making sure to brush off the areas around the edges so there's a very nice neat finish everywhere. It's still kind of patchy because there's only one undercoat of gesso, so I made sure to do a second coat, drying in between of course with a heat gun. When using the heat gun, use a wafting motion to prevent the paint bubbling up in areas. You can see what a lovely glossy finish you get on the top of this box. So it's really worth taking the extra care around the edges to make sure we get a neat finish. And then once the second coat is applied, the colour looks darker and all that patchiness disappears. So we get a really finished off look. Using the paintbrush at an angle helps to achieve a smoother finish. So once the second coat is dry, you can see what a lovely finish it gives, really like a night sky. I usually put gilding wax on the inside of the boxes, but here I decided to go for a contrast. So I'm applying dark blue to the edges, making sure to really work it into the fibre of the wood, and then the inside I'm using this Crawford & Black acrylic metallic paint in gold. It really adds to a kind of decadent finish, like something you would see in ancient Egypt. Because the inside of the box isn't sanded, you really need to work the paint in, so I'm using a smaller paintbrush here. For a full list of the supplies, take a look at my blog. When working in the edges, I applied paint in an upwards motion and then went side to side, and then I dry brushed around the edges to give it a kind of antique look, but I decided I didn't like this, and so later I removed it with a baby wipe. So here I put some splashes on top that I didn't like, removed them with a baby wipe, and it removes some of the blue as well, so I did that around the edges off camera, And now to make sure that it's a nice thick coat on there and we haven't removed all the blue paint, I'm adding some extra, being really careful and gentle around the edges because I want to have a nice crisp finish and definition between the gold and the blue. So at one area here I went inside a little bit, added a little bit too much paint on my brush. So I'm repairing this by going in with a baby wipe, but this you can see removes some of the gold, so I'm going back in with a small round brush and just filling in that gold again. So that was the inside of the box finished. For the outside, I wanted a kind of starry sky look, so it looked like the universe. This was kind of inspired by ancient mythology. So I'm using the acrylic paint again in gold, and this is just, it's actually an old bottle from some eyeglass lens cleaner that is filled with water, and then I'm spraying the paint with water, putting it on top of an acrylic block, and splashing it off with a small round brush. The smaller the brush, the smaller the splashes you get, but here I'm going in quite close and quite far away to achieve different levels of splashing. Also where the paint is thicker, you get a bigger drop. I'm blotting some off with a tissue where I wasn't happy with. You can really make effects like a Milky Way by going with a directional stroke, and you can just keep going and adding more and more stars until you're happy with the finished look. I went for quite a heavy look because I really like the effect. So once this was finished, I put the findings back on the box. The clasp at the front didn't really fit properly when I bought the box, so I was able to repair this with a little bit of moving it around. So putting that on first and then putting the hinges on means you get a perfect closure to the box. You can see the look here. I then went into my jewellery findings and I managed to get a giant bag of these kind of steampunk cogs on Amazon. So I got a few out and started looking at some placements. But as I've said in some of my previous videos, odd numbers make a really nice grouping, and particularly I like the number 3. So I tried to find some cogs where the teeth kind of mesh together better, so I was able to make some coherent pieces. So this is the final look. To glue these onto the box, I had thought about using a glue gun, but that would leave some funny plastic residue. So I'm using this high-tack glue that I got from the works, clearly for the price on the bottom. And then I'm applying this, it dries clear and it's really, really strong. So provided you press on really firmly, it's not going to go anywhere. I'm dabbing off with a tissue any excess, but it will dry clear, and the acrylic paint is kind of glossy too, so you really don't see these areas when the box is finished. To apply the glue, I'm squeezing really gently and just allowing very tiny droplets onto the cogs. Apologies, this is hard to see, I didn't realise my hands were getting in the way so much. So in the end I have 2 groupings of 3 on the lid of the box, and you can still see some of that starry sky effect in the middle. For the front of the box, I also added some more groupings, and I really love this cog, the large one with the spindles in it. It's really different. I'm breaking the rules and using a grouping of 2 in the top left. I thought about putting some cogs on the side of the box, but decided this would be too much, and I really liked the look of it plain on the sides and back. It's very, very striking. Kind of like a steampunk, outer space, ancient, mixture of all kinds of influences. So I'll leave you with some stills of the box. I hope you enjoyed the video and got a little bit inspired. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button. You can check out another wooden box video. I'll leave a link in the I button on the top right of this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more like this in the future, and you can head over to my blog for some more inspiration. It's a really nice idea for a sustainable gift box, I think. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.